godlike. Over here.
Oh my god, listen to this anime kid.
Godlike. Winds above. You're really here. I knew I had to find you as soon as I heard you were in Thirdborn.
Chico? When did you get so tall? I almost didn't recognize you.
Kai! You're here too? Now I know Thirdborn is in good hands. We've got to do something about the Dream Scourge. It's worse every day. One of our neighbors wasn't himself, and we can't afford to lose anyone. We need people who will fight back. People like Kai, and my uncle Capo.
Me? You don't know what you're saying. Believe me. But Capo, he's the real deal. That old salt's a monster slayer.
That Leviathan hanging over the market? That was his work.
I've known plenty of heroes. You'd have to be a legend to win a fight like that.
Exactly! Uncle Capo's the greatest warrior Thirdborn's ever seen. But, well, Thirdborn hasn't seen the Capo I know in a long time. I've tried everything to convince him to get out of the house. He may be old now, but we can still use his experience. If Thirdborn could see him up on those walls, they'd all follow him. I hate to impose, but would you pay him a visit? He lives on the northeast side of town. He's tired of hearing from me. Maybe one hero to another, you know?
That's not too unreasonable, I suppose. Just go talk to a guy.
Yeah, if you need something, get over here and talk to me.
Oh, let me guess. My Nikai sent you. That kid's been muttering about sending some new hero by.
Old man Capo. Glad to see you're still kicking around.
Kai, what rock have you been hiding under? Those scales are looking rougher since I last saw you.
Your eyesight finally going? But we didn't come here to talk about my handsome mug. That Nikai of yours still getting underfoot, I take it?
Ah, like a cannonball in a rolling deck, that kid.
So, you're Chico's uncle. They asked us to drop by.
Damn child won't stop hovering over me. They keep trying to send so-called heroes over to cheer me up, but there's not much point these days. Back when Thirdborn was no more than a husk on the cliffside, we had real heroes. I've slain 1,000 Zorips, wrestled rock beetles, even slew the Leviathan.
You've got a heart of iron. They should have given you a medal.
And a fair wind, too. What a legend it is. I had but a few harpoons and a single boat that morning. It had taken days to track the creature. My food and water were running out. When I found it, the beast heaved itself up from the water and crashed down onto me. And there, I thrust a harpoon deep into its belly and killed it. Oh, it took days to tow its body back on the flotsam of my boat.
I love the story. Even if the fish gets bigger every time.
Ah, well, those days are long past. I'm a sick old man now. Not much I can do in Thirdborn anymore. Still, maybe Chico was onto something when they sent you. You're the one who cleared the dream thralls at the gates, aren't you? Ah, good to know someone is looking out for Thirdborn at least. I tell you what. This old man would like to ask a boon of you. One hero to another. I promise it'll be worth your while. I want to see my heart one last time. Will you get it for me?
I'm sorry, you're... what?
A Leviathan heart is a rare thing. When left out in the air, it becomes as hard as Adra, and 100 times as valuable. And I had the only one in the living lands. I couldn't just leave it on my kitchen table now, could I? No, I kept it safe, hidden up in the godless ruin along the coast. But now, I'm dying. I can feel it in my bones. I don't have long, and I'd like to see my treasure one more time. Get it for me, and I'll see you get a reward. Beyond that, well, I left that old ruin with a few tricks for would-be thieves. Step carefully.
A trapped ruin that isn't from the Godless? It'll be interesting to compare.
Good luck, godlike.
Capo seems pretty cool. He's getting no sleep as well. Interesting. I wonder if he's being afflicted. Like if he's caught the disease. Oh, literally nothing back here. Interesting. Yeah, it would seem like that's literally everything in this, city. Airborne's kinda lame compared to the other towns. Not really a whole lot going on here.
Ah, isn't this a surprise?
Quilici?
Oh, hello there. I thought our paths might cross again. As you can see, the good people of Thirdborn have welcomed us with open arms. Remarkable under the circumstances. The Dreamscourge has struck this place with violence, bloodshed, death.
At least you can help fight the Dream Scourge.
Not as combatants, perhaps, but as researchers. Though our work is slow, it shows promise. Now that we're under Thirdborn's protection, my animancers can get back to work. We've made a few improvements to the local fishing gear, tinkered on harpoons and the like. You might not believe it, but some of our farming equipment is back to working order.
I didn't know the Shatterscarp soil was rich in the necessary nutrients.
Ah, that is where the challenge lies, does it not? We have many animancers working on the problem. Though it is difficult to farm when one is under attack, eh? The sheer numbers of infected makes our work perilous. One more thing before we're parted again. We've made a tidy profit of our labor, and the others gathered a little something for you. Don't spend it all at once.
Are you sure you don't need this for resettlement?
Thank you, but I know how to handle my coin. I left the Republic's a wealthy man. Go on, then. Surely you have better places to be? No doubt the Adiran Envoy has a message to deliver, or a foreboding parcel of some kind.
Quilici certainly looks happier here than in the Stair. As happy as he can be without me causing trouble.
So bizarre.
Love, look, it's him.
Oh, Envoy, over here.
Oh shit.
Envoy, it's so good to see you alive and well.
The same for you. How have things been since you got to Thirdborn?
Peaceful. Like when we first made our way to Paradise so many years ago. We've settled in nicely and are starting to feel at home here.
Peaceful's an interesting word to use, love. The Dream Thralls are exceedingly aggressive out here.
Yes, well, the guards have been handling them just fine. I'll take it for now. How about you, Envoy? How have the Living Lands been treating you?
Challenging at times, but worth every step.
Well, that's what we like to hear. Isn't that right, love?
That it is. We might even have something to help you with your journey. Whoever lived here last must have left this armor behind. As beautiful as it is, Gladwine and I have no need of it. We'd like for you to have it.
This is very generous of you. Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you, Envoy, for everything.
Be safe out there, friend.
Yo, and it's her.
Envoy? You get around, don't you? Funny seeing you here. Makes Paradise look kinda nice, doesn't it? Makes Paradise look kinda nice, doesn't it?
Oh, I kind of wish Alora had more to say. It's cool that she's here, though. Alright. What time is it? Good lord. Yeah, we've been going for some time. Quite a few hours now. I
How do you
feel like...
about poetry?
Poetry? Why the hell are you asking me about poetry?
Do you like it? Oh, come on, you can tell me. Say a few lines of poetry.
Wait. Do you think I have the dream scourge?
No, I don't. But I wanted to be sure, okay? They said that's the first sign.
I thought having fungus grow out of your head was the first sign.
It can be both.
I guess let's hit camp first before we actually make any progress anywhere, especially since we just picked up a massive amount of quests.
I must have done 100 shifts on those watchtowers. I never saw so much Thirdborn blood under them.
God, the climbing is so slow. Oh, Lord. Yeah, none of these guys made it. Somehow. Ow. Alright, let's hit camp. We'll hit camp, talk to our crewmates, and see what's going on upgrade-wise. Alright. Trickster's Cuirass. Upgrade that to level 2, and that's as far as that goes. Last Light of Day can be upgraded as well. Which I'm not entirely certain I'd like to yet. I kind of want to get Horse Cutter up to level 3. Gambeson of the Grand Empire. Interesting. Damage reduction, reload speed. Ah, yeah, I won't use that. That's too bad. Stow it. I'll hold on to the Blackwing armor, but we'll stow this. And we will stow... Yeah, I guess that was it. That's all we'll stow.
Despite everything that's happened, I'm so grateful to be working with Yatsley. In many ways, Quilichi has been like a second father to me. But Yatsley, she's like my dirty aunt who's up to no good.
We all need a few bad influences in our lives.
Oh, she's an expert in that field. While I have your attention, I've been thinking. Why is Inquisitor Ludwig suddenly interested in godless ruins?
Maybe she knows more than she lets on.
She's a smart one. I'll give her that. We should be ready for anything. Something tells me Ludwig isn't finished with us yet. You want to talk? Let's talk.
What do you think of our companions?
Anyone in particular? I warn you, I'm not the best judge of first impressions.
You must have some opinion of Yatsley.
Of course. She's brilliant, open to anything, and sees the world as she wants it to be. Yatsley gave me my first glass of wine, and the courage to approach a special someone. We have a lot of catching up to do.
Wait a second. Who was this special someone?
No one to get jealous over. To call it a relationship would be an insult to the word. But it was fun while it lasted. Animancy is the study of life. Unfortunately, we get so busy that we forget to live. So a little roll in the hay is good for the soul. Yatsley taught me that. Well, not the part about rolling in the hay. That was my idea, and I don't recommend it.
Did she know your parents?
Indeed, old friends. When they died, Yatsley protected me. Made sure I had one consistent person in my life. I think that's why she gave me that glass of wine. Why she encouraged me to live my life to the fullest. She was making sure I hit all the milestones I could have missed. Now that she's traveling with us, maybe she can teach you a thing or two. I think that covers everyone. And if my good opinion changes, you'll be the first to hear about it.
That's enough for now.
Until next time.
Listening to Yatsley's thoughts about godless ruins is one thing. Bringing her along for the rest of the trip is something else.
You don't trust her?
Well, don't you think it's a little convenient? You need to go somewhere no one ever goes, and here she is to show you the way? If she's read anything about the garden, it was written centuries ago. Obviously, things have changed since then.
You seem really bothered by this.
Bothered? Pedraku. It's my job to guide you as safely as possible. What you're doing isn't safe. I'll go along with whatever you decide. Just don't be disappointed when she doesn't show you what you wanted to see. Anyway.
I'd love to get your thoughts.
Let's make sure they're not listening. The only one we haven't talked about is Yatsley. I don't trust her any further than I could throw her, which honestly isn't that far. She actually goes down into these ruins on purpose, just to see what's down there, I guess? And now she's trying to lead us to the garden. Might as well be searching for WoW's wacky wagon of mysteries. Nah, I'm sure she knows what she's doing, but what if she doesn't?
That's enough for now.
Thanks for talking.
Oh, you still got more, eh?
I suppose if you're on a wild goose chase, there are worse places to do it.
Worse places than a hot, barren land filled with chasms and sinkholes.
At least I know how to deal with those sorts of things. Rope, lantern, extra water skins. Yatsley's got you going in all sorts of abandoned ruins. Who knows what's down there? More questions, most likely. And spiders.
The godless ruins hold the answers I need.
How come the answers are never in a little oasis with shade and drink service? I just want to make sure we've covered all the options before we dive headfirst into another deadly ruin.
I appreciate your concern. And what are the other options? This is the only one I'm aware of.
No idea. I just wish I trusted Yatsley's research. Seems like a lot of danger for not much payout. I'm sure we'll be fine. I just hope this is all worth it. Anyway. If I must.
Thirdborn. If it weren't for the Leviathan skeleton in the middle of town, I'd hardly recognize the place.
How so?
Well, that's what I'm trying to nail down. You ever come back to a place and feel like the buildings are smaller and the colors are duller?
Yeah. I felt that when I returned home from my first campaign.
Then you get it. Thirdborn was always this rugged oasis. Dangerous and out of the way, but bursting with vitality. It was a harbor for larger-than-life types. People like Capo, the Leviathan Slayer, and Tama. Glory seekers, trophy hunters, warriors trying to leave their battles behind. People who built around their stories and their scars.
I saw more scars than glory back there.
Me too. Being back. It felt like we were watching Thirdborn die a slow death.
They're facing the brunt of the Dream Scourge. That would take its toll anywhere.
True. But I can't help but feel that the Thirdborn I knew 6 years ago would have faced it better. I think what's eating at me is that Thirdborn seems rudderless. The Dream Scourge is one threat. Conflict with Adir is another. The Living Lands is changing, and Thirdborn feels like a barnacle on a moving ship. Temerity's leading them as best she can, but towards what? What are we doing out here besides surviving?
Sometimes surviving is enough.
For a while, I suppose. Eventually, you need more. What about you? You were sent by your Emperor to investigate the Dream Scourge. Since then, you've died, met a secret god, and gotten swept up in tensions between your empire and our scattered settlements. You brought Egwolf to Adiran justice, but then you thwarted the Steel Garrote's attack on Fjord. Do you know what you're sailing towards, or are you drifting with the tides?
Hilgard and Ludwig aren't the final word. I'm loyal to Aedir's interests in my own way.
That kind of clarity is rare. Your Emperor's lucky to have you. Thanks for talking. I hope Thirdborn is able to find its way somehow.
What kept you from returning to Thirdborn for so long?
I've got a lot of memories here. And the longer I stayed away, the harder it felt to come back.
I know the feeling.
Until you came along, I thought I'd be able to avoid it forever. Thirdborn's missing a lot of familiar faces. And the youngsters who've grown up and the new arrivals, they seem green. Like they're cut from a different cloth, a more delicate one.
Their neighbors are turning into dream thralls. That would rattle anyone.
This plague is tearing everything apart at the seams. Healing may take years, if not generations.
Maybe you're both right. Thirdborn's only survived because the people were tougher than the wilds. I just hope the people living behind those walls know how to keep them standing.
That's all.
I can take watch. I'll be up a while anyway.
For the camp of an official Adiran envoy, I was expecting a little more. A proper bed, at least. But I suppose this will do for now. As long as you have a bath, of course.
I suppose a bath could be arranged. Oh, shit. I was under the impression that you liked it rough.
When the mood is right, I find I like everything. I'm going to write Quilici tonight. Make sure he misses me. But, as riveting as it is to complain about our accommodations, I imagine you have another topic in mind?
That jar you had fetched for me earlier. Is it worth much?
I'm the only buyer you'll find here, and I already have the jar. A lesson for next time, darling. It's always worth some haggling. Unfortunately, it's been quite some time since I've met another who focused on the godless as I do. And I imagine I'd be more knowledgeable on the subject than anyone else you could find.
Is that how you got that burn? Running around old flammable ruins?
I've yet to be burned in a single flame trap, and I don't intend to start anytime soon. Fair guess, though. When I got my first grimoire as a child, I was trying out some of the fancy new spells I'd been given. I was attempting a simple illusion spell, but I must have slurred my words. The next thing I know, everything was on fire.
When you say everything.
I mean, my arm wasn't the only casualty. What is childhood but for silly things? When else can you get away with arson? My father was able to pull me from the flames as my mother doused them. I burned myself badly enough to give myself some vivid dreams, but the house still stood at the end.
Dreams of what?
Just the usual things. Not studying for an exam, having all your teeth fall out. They're not nearly as enjoyable as my more provocative dreams.
Personally, my favorite dream involves several lengths of rope and an enticing courtier from home.
Oh. Well, just be sure to have a quick release knot if you ever make that fantasy reality. Someone should learn from my mistakes. I certainly have no intention to.
Goodness, we're feeling very honest today, aren't we?
As delightful as you are, we've much to do and less time to do it in. Shall we go?
I forgot to talk to Kai about her.
Look at those stars. They always seem brighter out here.
I've got some questions for you.
So did my commanding officers.
Stupid. I'd like to get your thoughts on our other companions.
You're asking me? I'm not much of a gossip. Okay, who do you want to know about?
What about Yatsley?
You know, just when I was thinking our little group was getting too solemn and serious, we met her. Sometimes I think she lives in her ruins and grimoires rather than in the real world with the rest of us. But she keeps things interesting and keeps us on our toes. What's more, she's a good friend to Giada. And Giada's a good influence on her.
Is that all? Because I thought the two of you were flirting earlier.
I'm pretty sure Yatsley flirts with everybody. I don't read anything into it. Don't get me wrong, she's a striking woman. But she and Quilici have a good thing. I'd never get in the middle of something like that.
What matters most is that she's a friend, and she's got our backs.
Couldn't have said it better myself. I just hope she keeps some part of herself grounded with the rest of us. She's brilliant, but I worry that the real-world consequences of the forces she plays with are academic to her. Maybe I shouldn't. Sure. Check your bedroll for fangworms.
Oh, Envoy, might I steal a moment of your time?
You finally ready to talk about what happened in Emerald Stair?
Well, it's the waiting that makes the payoff so delicious, don't you agree? Look, I lost more research than I'd like to count. But Fiora and its people are safe. That's what matters. Thank you, Envoy. I don't know how you managed it, but whatever you did, you averted disaster. That being said, your ambassador is going to get an earful, and possibly a fistful, next time we're in Paradise.
I'm only sorry the crop situation got so dire for everyone in Emerald Stair.
That's what happens when you're the breadbasket of the living lands. Sometimes things get stale. At least we were able to get everyone to safety. Though with everything happening in Thirdborn, safe might be relative. At least I know Temerity will keep an eye on them. I think she knows what'll happen if she doesn't.
Have you known Temerity long?
Long enough that I trust her to do her best by everyone. You see, Emerald Stair has Naku Tedek. For a young and aspiring godless scholar, it was a godsend, if you'll forgive the pun. And, as a young at heart godless scholar, I've traveled outside the stair to other ruins. That's how I met Temerity. Thirdborn's close to Naku Kubel, and a girl's gotta eat sometime.
There aren't godless ruins in your hometown.
In fact, there are. But I'd spent the better part of my childhood in them. I had to go out and find new ruins to get lost in. Have you no sense of adventure, Envoy? I still go out often. I've catalogued many ruins, but there are always more. And coming home to a warm welcome is lovely. You should try it sometime, darling.
A warm welcome from the Animancers? How do you get that?
Oh, part of it is my sparkling personality, of course. But a larger part of it is time. It's hard to hate someone when they drop by your lab with lunch after you've forgotten to eat again.
Does this mean I'll get food from you?
As much as I'd love to, you don't travel with a kitchen. I can't promise anything. My mother always said that the way to a man's heart was through his stomach. Quilici and I got together the old-fashioned way, though. I saw a beautiful man across a smoky tavern. Then I dazzled him with my delightful personality. Then he showed me an abandoned ruin outside of town, and I was hooked.
And you lived happily ever after, right?
Oh, it's not a fairy tale, darling. We've been happy for the most part. Any rough patches got smoothed over well enough. I only thought about killing him once or twice. He's probably thought the same a bit more. It's hard to believe that things have changed so much recently. Any sense of safety just went poof. It makes you wonder how everything will turn out.
People are alive, so there's still hope. Buildings can be rebuilt.
Right. The city can be replaced, but not its residents. Thank you, Envoy. I feel a little less frazzled. I've got a lot to think on. Talk to you soon? Try not to have too much fun without me. How can I help, darling?
How do you...
Sudden changes in climate always mess with my coiffure. Does Adir have good fur maintenance products? Do you have a contact for that?
Tell me about it. My hair refuses to cooperate with me as it is.
Now, imagine that every inch of you is frizzing up. Truly, just a good long brushing through all my fur alone would do wonders. I've got some time before we see Quilici again, at least. It'll give me time to find something to remind him of what he's missing.
Wonderful. That's such a cringe line, I hate that. So, you and Quilici are quite the unconventional couple.
In life, you make your own entertainment. I enjoy scandalizing the small-minded when I can. Quilici and I got used to the stairs early on. Thankfully, at least in Fjord, those stopped eventually. After 30 years, it's hard to still be surprised by us just drinking at the Magpie.
When did Giada enter the picture?
Oh, she was still young. Quilici offered to help her study for and prepare her thesis as a favor to her parents. She was over day and night for months, and, well, now she's family. We adore her. All things considered, it's hard to complain about my life in Fjord.
So that's it. Everything's just been perfect since then.
No, of course not. No one is perfect, but I forgive him many vices. Like, he sleeps with his socks on.
Right. How do you suggest we keep our feet warm at night? Light little fires between our toes?
You're too sweet. As much as I enjoy our little chats, dearie, we should really get going. Oh, but if you do end up finding any liniments, be sure to help a girl out. You know, Envoy, we've traveled enough that I think I've gotten a handle on your style. Style of fighting, I mean. Your fashion sense is more opaque. But listening to your incantations, they could use some tightening up. I could probably teach you a thing or two, if you're up for it. What do you say?
Let's sharpen our wits.
If such a thing is even possible. For me, at least. What? Out of breath already? Talk to one of the boys. See if they can help with your stamina, dear. Well, I've taught you all I can. Let's hope you put it to good use.
Would that give me a permanent buff? That'd be kind of cool. What exactly did that do?
Yatsli, when all of this is behind us, are you going back to Fjord Mesivernal?
It's hard to imagine leaving
Plus 2
forever.
intellect. Hell yeah!
Especially with Quilici still there. What about you? Vidaro's reversed your exile. You could return.
I haven't decided yet. On the one hand, it's tempting.
On the other, nothing's really changed. And you'd still have the same problems waiting for you there.
Exactly. You understand.
You're a brilliant woman, Giada. Whatever you decide, you'll be right.
You're too kind to me, Yatsli. I don't deserve you.
For all you put up with from me, I'm sure I could be kinder. But I'm always happy to help. Do you think those Adirans were onto something? Or were they onto something before you ended their studies? Do you think they could have cured the Dream Scourge?
Do you?
I think it was worth a try, at least. I just hope we made the right decision.
We're going after the source, and that's what matters.
I suppose you're right. But we missed an opportunity to learn more, and we won't get such a chance again. I hate to see it slip through our fingers. Had you left them to their own devices, who knows what we would have gained. A cure might sound far-fetched, but what if they found treatments for the Dream Scourge, and even other ailments? But our loss, I suppose. Well, that's all I had to say. I'll let you get back to whatever you were doing. Unless there's something else you want to chat about? How can I help, darling?
What can you tell me about the Godless?
Careful what you wish for, darling. So, the Godless, or the Akita, as they called themselves, were the original folks who lived in the Living Lands. They arrived on the shores of a new land and settled there, living with the land instead of trying to tame it.
The Akita were fleeing, and a storm brought them here.
You sound certain. Well, that would align with my own findings. But how could you know that?
The voice in my head told me.
Oh, well, we should definitely trust that. But dubious metaphysics notwithstanding, you corroborate my theory. The Godless are so singular. Their art and architecture, you never see it in Rawatai or Ishamatal or, well, Adir. But in their artwork, they reference escaping, fleeing, seeking refuge, so they must have come from somewhere. My guess, they originally came from Yesua.
Yesua?
Yesua, a continent, cut off from the rest of the world, hidden by eternal storms, one of the 3 hubs of the Angwithan Empire. 10 years ago, you could say it wasn't real, that it was a dream, but they said the same of Ukaiso. Suddenly, the appearance of a mythical land doesn't seem so implausible.
If this place was so great, then why'd they leave?
There was some kind of schism, an ideological one. From what I can glean, the Godless were staunchly against the gods, hence their name. There are even some not-so-kind murals of the gods. It seems like the Godless really took their anti-theism seriously.
You really are obsessed, aren't you?
I have my reasons. And it is fascinating, isn't it? Well, I think we've covered everything, don't you? Rather, as much as I think you'll withstand. Hope you enjoyed talking about this as much as I did, dearie. How can I help, darling?
Let's talk about that recurring dream you've been having.
Well, I suppose you've earned that much. And I do enjoy rewarding tenacity. Though between your dreams and mine, it's a wonder anyone gets any sleep around here. You remember that I nearly burned my family home down when I was young?
It's hard to forget.
It was an accident. And I paid for it. My parents refused to buy me more spellbooks for years. Well, shortly after all that fuss, the dream began. It started at first with a fire. Just flames, crackling, and a feeling of safety. I thought it was a little weird, but nice. But then the dream kept coming back, night after night. I learned more every time. I saw that it was a fire in a hearth, and that hearth was in an old library. I assumed it was a library, at least, to explain why there were so many tablets lining the walls.
What kind of tablets are in the library?
Oh, everything from dry historical recountings to treatises on agricultural techniques. No romances, though. Whoever filled the library must have been allergic to them.
Did you read any of them?
No, never actively. I had read them all previously, if that makes any sense. That's actually how I learned the Akedan language. Just woke up with that knowledge.
That's insane.
Which is very useful when you can find no written records. In the library, there's just one person, but they're wearing a hood, so I never see their face. They do the same thing every night. They curl up in a chair by the fire, hold a tablet to their chest, and then the fear comes. The paralyzing, all-encompassing fear of something.
Something? You don't have anything more specific?
Just the noise. A low, deep banging starts, and it rattles through your bones and shakes you to your core. And it replaces the beat of your heart with this droning on and on and on until you forget every other sound you've ever heard.
A beat. Steel feet on the shore. They come by night.
And then, as it just gets louder and louder, and right before it gets there, I wake up.
You've been listening to too many of Giada's ghost stories.
And let me tell you, waking up in a cold sweat does nothing for my fur.
You don't know the source, I assume?
How sibilant. No. Just that it's all-encompassing. It's strange. I've not told many of the details of my dream. I suppose I must like you quite a bit, Envoy. Don't let it inflate your ego too much. I suppose we should try and get some rest now. I'll have some tea ready for when we awaken later.
Yeah, I guess that is everything, except...
We really must stop meeting like this. People will talk.
What do you think of our travel companions?
We've been traveling together for a little while. I just have to know. Did you purposefully choose such colorful company, or is that just what you attract naturally? I mean, I'm very clearly a delight, so it's obvious why you let me stick around. I'd seen Kai around once or twice, and always thought he was charming enough. He's got a sharp tongue, though. Makes me like him even more. And Marius. I don't know what's lurking in him, but I do think he should speak to someone on it. If he reaches out, do try, will you? As for Giada, well, clearly Giada is a gem. As for me, well, I'm just as riveting as you, but the boys are giving me a run for my money.
Are you implying that I'm the least interesting of our group?
You've got the thorn of a secret god inside of you. I think your uniqueness goes without saying, my dear Envoy. You do strike me as a people person. Tell me, do you get along with all you meet?
Ludwig and I used to get along quite well, if you catch my meaning.
You're not serious. Galloway's gonads, you are, aren't you? I have 1,000 questions. Had she died yet? Was she nice then, or always a monster? Had she died yet?
You just asked the same question twice.
It's the most important question, Envoy. Stop dodging it. Did she still have skin?
She was alive when we were together.
Oh, that makes much more sense. She doesn't seem nearly fun enough to continue being so even after death. And here I thought I had a wild youth exploring ruins. You might be putting me to shame, dearie.
Dark, empty ruins. Those could be a very good place for a rendezvous, couldn't they?
Why do you think Quilici and I went to Naku Tedek in the first place? Of course, I just think it adds to the excitement. Well, you've satisfied my curiosity. I'll leave you alone to do whatever envoys do.
She didn't really answer my question, though, did she? Regarding everyone else in the camp.
How long have you and Quilici been together?
30 years.
About 30 years. Why do you ask?
How do you make that work for so long?
Well, it helps to have a partner so understanding and virile. Why do you ask?
Over all that time, how do you hold in the parts of yourself they'd never accept? How do you contain all your worst pieces?
Darling, if you can't be your worst self with them, what's the point?
He has no response to that, damn. Yeah, I suppose we're stuck with Yatsley and Kai. Oh, Dreamtime.
Seeds of change. Their petals sprout across the barren land. They sing to the unwanted ones, and the unwanted ones sprout in turn. The soil remembers what it once was. It will soon be whole, safe.
What are you talking about?
The soil does not want these cities. It yearns for silence, for the kestrel song. But first, the sprouted ones will grow. They will bring the stillness and the birdsong.
Why would you want Thirdborn gone?
The dam falls. The river returns to its source. It is how the land was and should always be. We want all of them gone. We wish for life to flourish again.
That's what people are doing in Shatterscarp. They're just trying to make a life.
Efforts paid in blood. They lie to the earth, to themselves. Death nourishes the soil. All things come from the rot.
We don't need death for things to grow.
The spider devours her mate to lay her eggs.
Okay.
We ponder, dream of shifting sands now. We will speak again.
Definitely trusting the god in my head less and less, the more we actually speak to them, the more it's becoming very apparent to me that they are the ones responsible for the Dream Scourge, and they're probably just going to try to get everybody killed. Oh yeah, we've got quite a few quests now. I guess we'll start off with whatever's closest, but I think we're going to stop here, because we've been going for a hot minute. Long-ass couple of hours. Oh, it's going to be a pain to sift through, but oh well. I hope you all enjoyed, and we will pick this up in the next episode. Wow, I just noticed they have windmills over there. Look at that. Anyway, we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.